Welcome back. It is now time for What's Hot. We talk about the stories that have us all talking.
And today we're joined by John Anwillow with Milwaukee Social Media, and Brian Fraley is back. So first up, a San Antonio teacher accused of duct taping a student to a chair. Apparently that child was being rowdy, could not be controlled, so he or she was taped to a chair. A year before, another teacher in the same school district was accused of ordering kindergartners to take turns hitting a classmate. Some bad judgment going on here.
Yeah, I think the problem is actually with the school. This was like 26 kids were invited to hit a 6-year-old last year because the child was accused of bullying or caught bullying. And now we've got kids duct taped to chairs, and the school administration stand is, well, we'll go back and review our policies to see if anything doesn't line up, but yeah, that's all they're really saying.
I'm thinking that parents could sue in this case. I mean, if a child's being unruly and you can't control them, don't you send them to the principal's office?
That's what happens at our school, sure.
Duct tape, it could be worse. I guess it could be super glue. But seriously, you think they need to review not only their policies, but maybe their training? I mean, as
or
a parent,
common sense.
Exactly. Yeah. As a parent of a soon-to-be 4-year-old, I'd be outraged if this happened to my kid in school. It's inexcusable.
And times have changed over the years. I mean, used to be wrapped in the hands with rulers.
I'm a Catholic school kid, and I'm used to having the eraser tossed at me or the knuckles wrapped or whatever. That's one thing. This is a whole different level.
It is a whole different level, and I don't know if any amount of training in the world could overcome the lack of common sense and human decency that would cause someone to duct tape an 18-year-old to a chair. I mean, really?
Point. That's a good point.
I'm curious what the school handbook says.
Oh, you got that?
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a rule now that says don't duct tape kids
What is
to
the
chairs.
duct tape chapter?
Wow. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that for now. Coming up next, more on the recent abduction of the famous Italian racing sausage. See him there dancing? We'll tell you how it hinders festivities at the Locust Street Festival. That's next.
And we're joined again by John Anwillow with Milwaukee Social Media and Brian Fraley, managing editor of Right Wisconsin.
All right, next topic. 2 workers at a Whole Foods store in New Mexico claim they were suspended after they complained about reportedly being told they couldn't speak Spanish on the job. Now, the company says the employees were suspended for being rude and disrespectful, not for speaking Spanish, but they do say it is their policy to have everybody speak the same language. What do you guys think?
I guess it depends what they were really suspended for. I mean, speaking Spanish in New Mexico in the break room about personal stuff, as they claimed, bilingual people more likely to be in New Mexico, even if they speak English, perhaps. Is that wrong? Maybe yes or no, but what if they were really being disrespectful? I guess we don't really know.
And it's in the break room, that's one thing. If it was where they were interacting with the public, I could understand a company policy saying, you know, we speak English around the public because you don't want the public thinking you're talking about them if they don't understand the language. So I think there's a lot of what ifs here, and you know, that's what lawyers are for.
Yeah, I know I know we're supposed to be coming down hard on one side or the other of this issue, but
we don't know enough.
Yeah, we don't know enough.
And none of us are lawyers. So
that's right.
Yes,
topic number 3.
The lawyer is playing hooky today.
That's right.
For our final What's Hot, thieves ruining the fun for everybody. The racing sausages, they're not going to be at the Locust Street Festival this year because that guy, the Italian costume, stolen in February at a festival in Cedarburg. Now, Clement's cracking down on the sausages' appearances. They're not just going to drop off the costumes for people to use and then, you know, trust that they'll come home.
And
this guy was having a party until they tracked down who stole him.
That sucks, though. I mean, I'll just say it because Clements was really, really generous. They had like 4 or 5 sets of these costumes, and they would let nonprofits check them out and let their own people wear them and appear at these festivals. And it was, you know, kind of the biggest thing at some of these smaller festivals. Now, these sister and brother took off with it in February and took it bar hopping, did $3,000 worth of damage to it, and then just like dumped it. And now it's over, and Clement's trust is broken, and you can't really blame him. But it's bad.
It is awful, and I have a friend of mine who was the chorizo at one of these festivals a couple of years ago. He said it was fantastic. The kids coming up, the only rule was, you know, you can't take off the costume in public and you can't speak.
Talk, right?
So it was great.
Sure.
I mean, they loved it, and it's a shame that these 2 yahoos in Cedarburg ruined it for everybody else.
Yeah, because now it's going to be Clements that will send the people, the characters for the costumes.
Right.
So, you know, if they're booked
that
already,
that labor's not free.
Right,
That's
and
true.
if they're booked already, you're not going to be able to get the costumes.
Yeah, and Clemens said that the only way that they can budget for it right now is to have their employees do it on unpaid overtime as volunteers.
And they're not going to do that.
Some will probably, I'm sure, but still, they didn't used to have to. They wouldn't even have been asked.
What's the world coming to?
It's a shame. I mean,
is.
we you know, our sausages get beat up at Miller Park. They get stolen out in the community. It's terrible.
We just can't have nice things here.
We can't let
the
you have nice
Wisconsin.
things.
It's
People
the
can't take care of their things.
That's right. It's just the quintessential festival, Southeast Wisconsin. You see the sausages.
That's
running
right.
around.
Two people ruin it for everybody.
Well, add this to the list of things that we used to be able to do that we can't do anymore.
Back in my day, we had sausages running around. Thanks,
Oh
guys.
goodness, Cody.
That's it for What's Up. We're back after this.